Well,
out there?
actually, I'm just George P. Toma, the nitty-gritty dirt man. And I started out in the coal mines of Pennsylvania. And when I was 12 years old, I started helping a neighbor in a professional team, Class A Eastern League. And then when I was 16 years old, Bill Vick bought the Cleveland Indians. And he bought like Dayton, Ohio, Indianapolis, and Wilkes-Barre, and he made me the head groundskeeper when I was 16. And I went on from there. And I'm just an ordinary young man or an old man from Edwardsville, Pennsylvania. It's near Wilkes-Barre, which is in the anthracite coal region, and grew up as a very poor people, and I'm still that way.
Got to do some amazing things, though. You saved a lot of fields, helped a lot of athletes from being injured. Kind of, what was your motto the whole time?
My motto is do the job and then some. Do that extra. And that and then some will help you out. And my motto is the cheapest insurance for an athlete from preschool to the professional level is a safe playing field. And that's what I work. And through the years, like I had to go out to Candlestick in the 80s when the field was mud, and got that field ready for a championship game. And what I did, the people on TV and radio, they ripped the heck out of me. I don't know what I'm doing. But I had a good lady that helped me on the field. She would come down in her rain hat and her rain jacket, her rain boots, and say, George, what we can do today, I'm here to help you. And people help you like that. But that lady was Mayor Dianne Feinstein, the mayor of San Francisco. And she tried to get me to work out there. She had a day for me during baseball season, and she became a senator. And I used to tell Roger Goodell, you need to send some of your people down to talk to Senator Feinstein. Maybe they can bring it around and do a good job. But people like that help you, you know, and they make it.
You went to 2 Olympics, a World Cup, 57 Super Bowls. What was your favorite memories from that?
They're all good memories. I remember back in 1984 was my first Olympic. Peter Uberoff, who was the commissioner of baseball, retired and became the head of the Olympics. He called me and asked me to come out there and fix the Coliseum and the Rose Bowl field up. So I went out there and got it done for him, and he thanked me very much. And then for the 96 Olympics, I was consulting for the St. Louis Rams because they moved from LA. And Billy Payne, the head of the Olympics for Atlanta, called me and asked me to come down, and they're having a opening ceremonies in a week. And I said, I'm sorry, Billy, I can't do it because I have to finish this job for the Rams, and then I have to go down to Mexico and get a field ready for the NFL. And he ripped my fanny left and right. I'm not patriotic, I'm not this. And I mean, he made me feel like that, you know. So I went home and thought it over. And so I got a hold of the 2 groundkeepers with the Arizona Cardinals and 3 groundkeepers with the San Diego Chargers, and had them go down for me to get started. And then Eddie Mangan, who was good at that time, we went in there and fixed up the Atlanta field. And we only had 36 hours. I remember when we went to sleep, I slept in Chipper Jones's locker in the clubhouse. And one day we got finished about 1 o'clock in the morning, and I went into the wheelbarrow and fell asleep, and they covered me up with a towel, and it was a good sleep I had. But you have to just do it.
What's the hardest thing about being a groundskeeper?
Well, the hardest groundskeeper is where you are, and who you work for. And when I first came here to Kansas City, it was a story I worked for the Detroit Tigers in Charleston, West Virginia, and one day in August, John McHale, the president, general manager of the Tigers, called me. He says, George, we just gave permission to the Kansas City A's to talk to you. He says, go up in the press box and talk to Park Carroll. So before I went up to the press box and talked to Park Carroll, I called Emil Blazers, who was one of my teachers. He was the head groundkeeper for the Cleveland Indians, the best there ever was. First groundkeeper in the Hall of Fame. And I called him first. He said, George, don't go there. It's a sandlot operation. And he says, I'm in there a few times during the summer trying to fix that field for Lou Boudreau, who's my friend and the manager for the A's. So I came out and looked it over, and it was bad. I mean, the infield was all weeds, the dirt was bad. So I looked it over and talked to him, and the next day I went to Denver because the Hausman brothers wanted me to take over the Denver Bears because they were a Yankee farm club. And so I went out there, looked that over, then I went back to Charleston, thought it over. And I said, George, where you gotta go? I said, your best bet is go to Kansas City because that feels so bad. If you screw it up, nobody would ever know it. So that's what I did, and we turned it around, you know, to have the good field. And we met yesterday with all the old groundkeepers. They're in their 60s, 70s now. Trevor Vance and his crew. And in those days here in Kansas City, everybody, I guess everybody hates Charles O. Finley, who owned the A's. But Charlie O. Finley is the best owner of any sport that I ever worked for. First thing he did was double my salary. First thing he did was double the salary of the kids, the black kids from Lincoln and Central High School. And I say if it wasn't for Charles O. Finley and those black students from Lincoln and Central High School and Dr. Watson and McGrominus from Toro Corporation and Jim Steig, who I worked with 35 years ago, there would be no George Toma and I wouldn't be here. They made me.
What do you think of this book?
I think it's a good book. It's a book that tells when I was born and all the way I went through. And I can congratulate some people. And then I take some good punches at some people. And some of those punches I take, they're names that everybody knows in the world because they didn't give a damn about a good, safe playing field. And like I say, the cheapest insurance for an athlete from preschool up to the profession level is a safe playing field, and you gotta have that, and that's what I work for. And then at the old stadium, we had the A's and the Royals and the Kansas City Chiefs and the Kansas City Spurs in soccer, and Pele played on the field, and he said that was the second best field he ever played on. And then we had the Monarchs play there and the Beatles concert. And during that whole year, we had all those sports, and they would put bleachers, 55 rows up high, called the Wolf Pack, from left field to right field. And we never resodded, and we only spent $1,000 a year on that field. Today, they're spending millions out there. But that's what we did. And the first 24 Super Bowls, there was no sod. We spent $500 a game, and now we're spending $800,000, and they can't do it. And for $500, you know, we only had maybe 6 days to get ready, or at the Rose Bowl, or 24. Like at the last game at the old stadium, when on that Sunday, when that last game was, we take the pitch and the mound down. We had a big 4x6 nail drag, like to scarify the infield. Then I would seed it Sunday night, where I had a method that I'd soak grass seed in 55-gallon barrels with cow manure. And then I'd seed that Sunday night. Friday, we mow it. Saturday, we painted, Sunday we played the game on. That's how it was worked for the Super Bowls.
Is that your technique? Is that the trick?
Pardon?
What wisdom would you pass on to other groundskeepers who?
Well, we passed that on, to help to do things, fertilization, how to do things. A lot of agronomists don't like me because I don't believe in them, and I do my groundskeeping against the book. It's my way, and it has worked out. And going over to Japan and going to Mexico and London and Berlin and Barcelona and to Israel to help build fields. And when I went to Israel on behalf of the Jewish community here, I never charged them one penny. I went there because when I was young, we were a very poor family. And when my mom went to the store to buy us shoes or mackinaws or something, those Jewish people would only charge her half price. So I paid them back that way.